Greetings YouTube. Today we're looking at an Eafengrow knife, the F11, EF11, I guess, yeah. And this is a very old design. I did a Svord video recently where I just showed off a blade of a very similar concept. And this particular style of knife is very old. I think the Romans might have had this one. It is not a new concept. And this particular version has a wood handle, steel liners, pass-through hinge and rivets. The whole thing is constructed that way. And these are kind of Chicago bolts so that they screw into each other. And just this particular model is hollow as opposed to a lot of the times you see them, they're solid. And again, just like the Svord I checked out, you open it like this. And this one's a little bit easier. I can actually open this one. Let me get in here. I can actually open this one quite easily one-handed, and you can see it is a Wharncliffe. And anybody out there that knows me knows why I was intrigued by this knife. It is a Wharncliffe, and I really love Wharncliffes. And this thing comes out of the box with a reasonably usable edge. In fact, I would say this is above average. Hollow grind, secondary bevel. I'm not a huge fan of hollow grinds. I prefer a flat grind or a convex, but that's just me. I know that many people like the hollow grind. And this is, you can see this is a substantial thickness of a knife. And it really fits the hand well. I can get, it's a full 4-finger grip if I come up here right all the way up to the knife itself. If I want to, you know, back off a little, it's a 3-finger grip. And this is not a big knife. I mean, the blade is not long. I think it's like 2.5 inches long. But it's got a nice ergonomic shape. The grind, look at it, is pretty darn even. I don't think it's perfect, but it's very close. It was well executed. And markings on this puppy, what do I got for markings on this puppy? Oh, it says D2. Now, I have no idea if this is actually D2 steel, and I don't really have the means to check to see if it is D2 steel. But the overall quality on this is really quite extraordinary. These edges are not sharp, they're nice thing, but they are crisp. Nothing, no burrs in here. Everything is just very well shaped. The curves on these are very well done. It's very ergonomic. It fits in the hand really well. And this is, again, only held in place, but you're holding it in place. So you're going to want to have your thumb here. You're not going to want to come up like this because that's probably a little bit dangerous. But if you're holding like this, you're not much of a difference and danger. But this is probably the best way to do a lot of cutting tasks with this. And again, you're not going to be doing any heavy-duty tasks, even though it is a very rigid, strong knife. And look at the centering on that. I mean, that's some really solid centering right there. And you know what the most amazing thing about this is? This was $11. I'm not kidding you. When I purchased this, it was 11 bucks. That's amazing. Just amazing that you can get a knife of this quality for $11. And I know what people are going to say, but it's made in China. So what? A lot of knives that people really love are made in China. Okay? And I'm telling you that there are companies out there that are selling you knives that are solid quality, and they've got a brand name on them, and they're being built by the same people that are selling no-name versions thereof. I know this because I work in an industry that can sell parts out of the same molds, both to the official supplier and to the aftermarket supplier. This kind of thing happens. So just because something is made in China doesn't mean it's low quality. And this is a really nice quality knife. Again, with this particular design, I think you have a little bit of problem with carrying because this is, you know, sticks out like that. But it is much smaller than the Svord Peasant, so I think you would have an easier time of putting it into a pocket or into a pouch. It would also fit really well into a bag or a purse. And this would be a good glove box or just toolbox knife, in my opinion. Particularly if you like a Wharncliffe edge, which I do. And if you're having to do like layout on things which are soft, like wood and stuff, I think this would be excellent for doing layout lines and simple cutting tasks like that. Because of that nice straight edge. And I'm a firm believer in the Wharncliffe because I believe that when you're cutting, you're getting full engagement. There's no belly here, obviously, but I've found in my own use of knives that have a lot of belly, sometimes you're doing this a lot to cut, whereas if you're coming in with this, you have full engagement. You're getting the whole use of the edge, in my opinion, when you're doing a cut. That's why I love Wharncliffes so much. It's just that a lot of the really cool designs out there don't have that option. This is a nice design. It is solid quality. I know it's made in China and all that stuff, but I own much more expensive knives that come from name brand companies, and they're not this decent quality. I've got a SOG that I did a review a while back, and it was 20 bucks. It was almost twice this cost, and it's a piece of crap. Whereas this is really nice quality, and it was $11. So don't discount something just because it may not be made in America, because that sometimes just means something very expensive. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's very good quality. So this has been the Eafengrow EF11 folding knife with the Wharncliffe blade. I really recommend this if you like this style or you would like to experiment with this style. I think this is a great entry point.